Breathe out. Now, as you're breathing in, as you're breathing out, I want you to let go of all of the emotions that are no longer serving you in this moment. We're not pushing these emotions away. It's perfectly natural and normal to acknowledge that we're feeling these emotions. So take a moment to tap into what you might be feeling. There might be some fear. There might be some anxiety. There might be some sadness. There might be some regret. There might be self-doubt. Take a moment to just acknowledge these emotions that you may be feeling. And what I want you to do is on the out breath, I want you to release these emotions. And you can literally picture or envision a weight being lifted off your entire body, off your being. So breathe in, breathe out, releasing all those emotions that no longer serve us. So out with the fear, out with the anxiety, out with the sadness, out with the regret, out with the self-doubt. Release it all. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Now, as you breathe in, I want you to picture a clear white light filling your entire heart, just filling your heart. And this light is the light of love. It is the light of compassion. It is the light of self-acceptance. It is the light of gratitude. It is the light of inner faith. It is the light of oneness, of our inherent connection to all we're a part of. So breathe in that clear white light into the center of your heart. Breathe in that light, breathe out. Breathe in that clear white light of peace and love and acceptance and gratitude and hope and equanimity and connection into your heart. And breathe out. The next thing we're going to do is we're going to continue to breathe that clear white light into our in-breath. And on our out-breath, we're going to envision a being or beings that are in need of healing or in need of compassion and love. So breathe in that light into your heart. And on the out-breath, breathe out. Picture that light literally like a wave washing over that person or persons that come to your mind that need healing and compassion. So breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in that light into your heart, healing your own heart. Now send that healing out of your heart to that person or persons in need of healing. May all beings be at peace. May all beings be happy. May all beings be relieved of mental and physical suffering. All right.
Forrest, that was so beautiful. Thank you so much. Yeah, that was really powerful. I loved that there was the letting go of the heavy weight, acknowledging what is heavy, and then calling in that light. And then once we are sufficiently filled up with that, then we think about the others. And that's such a
Yeah.
wonderful thing to do. That whole process is kind of the 3 steps of alchemy, like let go and then call in the light. And then what can I do to serve? And I think sometimes, and this is for Melody and for anyone else who's challenged, Viktor Frankl and others, but I think of
Mm.
Viktor Frankl in moments like this, and he thought one of the things that he said in his book Man's Search for Meaning is if we're going to suffer, then let's do it on behalf of everyone who's going to be suffering. So if there's anybody that's feeling lost right now, anybody that's feeling like everything they do, nothing's working, that it's just so hard, it's just so scary, then may my struggle not be in vain. May I be doing this on behalf of others, even if I don't know what the magical the magic on the other side of this tragic is going to be. Let my struggle be on behalf of them. So
And what
I thought
and
that
what a
was
powerful.
beautiful.
And for those of you who aren't familiar, he was a concentration camp survivor.
Yeah, if
So
you can go through that. Yeah.
the amount of
Yeah.
suffering that he went through, and to be able to come out the other side of it is inspiring, right?
Yeah.
And maybe that's another thing for people too, is read about the stories of those who have
Yes.
faced immense suffering and come out the
Yeah.
other side. Yeah.
Hmm.
And there's lots of,
Exactly.
it is, there's lots of stories out there of people who have horrifically suffered and come out the other side of that suffering.
It's so true. So one of our favorite humans, Deborah Ann Jacobs, she's a very special person to you and to me. She wrote in on Facebook. She said, I asked people what was their tragic to magic experience during the pandemic. And she says, feeling like living in California was being in jail for her. Then halfway through the pandemic, moving to Arizona, everything was open and she felt people's energy again. So she actually did a geographic in the middle, and so did you. A lot of people moved, a lot of people changed where they're living. So they found a place that was more in resonance with them. And I imagine that was for the better. And God, didn't we appreciate? I know I like really, I mean, I'm a people person. I'm an extrovert and I'm around people a lot. And I took for granted the energy that comes from being around people. Like I
Mm.
really just was like, oh, people in person. I appreciate virtual. I appreciate how Zoom opened the world up so we could still communicate and work and share our messages and do all that. But there's nothing like being in person. I want to just share a funny little dream I had during the pandemic. Was I was on roller skates at a mall, and I don't know how to roller skate. So I was like zooming toward all these people, and I knew, oh my God, I'm not supposed to be near them. I'm not supposed to touch them. I'm not supposed to hug them. And I was like, but I couldn't stop. So I just thought that was hilarious because was like my dream helping me vent out the fact that I was so magnetically drawn to be around people. And I was also being told, be cautious. You can't just, it's not business as usual. And whatever one's belief system is about it all, it's not ordinary. So be cautious. So I felt like that was, it was just indicative of my inner self being like in such a tug of war. There's so many dreams that were like that, of people having, dreaming about the pandemic. That was quite a phenomenon during that time. Did you have any big dreams, big pandemic dreams that you remember, or were all of yours waking dreams?
Mine were actually mostly like waking dreams, but I do
Yeah.
remember during the height of the, um, I think it was like in 2022, 2021.
Mhm.
I remember having a dream where my guru came to me, uh,
Oh,
Ram Dass came to me, and
oh,
I just remember, yeah, it was a beautiful, beautiful dream. I remember, him just kind of coming to me and telling me, you know, all is well. Everything that is happening. He had actually passed in 2019, so all is well.
oh, right.
Everything that is,
Good timing for
yeah,
him.
everything that is happening is exactly how it's supposed to happen. Even the suffering, this is exactly how it was supposed to go. Um, and
Oof.
it was just, and I
Wow.
remember the whole room just lighting up with, beaming with light. And so I had that one dream I remember very vividly, and it was
Wow.
really, really powerful and beautiful. And it was just a reminder that, you know the light will always prevail. The
The
light
light
will
will
always shine.
always prevail. It
Yeah,
will, and I
there's
love, and the cover of your book looks like that. It's like the light that comes through the darkness. I mean, you
yeah,
can't really
the darkness.
see that light without the darkness. So as we wrap
Yeah.
up here, any parting words, anything that you think is particularly relevant to what people are going through, anybody who's going through the roughest of rough moments right now, whether it be related to like a ripple effect of the pandemic or just whatever's going on in their life today. Any last words from you, Forrest Rivers?
Yeah, yeah. I just think that um, crisis situations, while incredibly difficult and heart wrenching, and even feeling like soul crushing,
Yeah.
there's a lot of really terrible suffering out there that people are enduring in this moment.
Mhm.
But despite all that, just know that those moments, that's what breeds wisdom. That's what
Oof.
breeds character. That's what breeds resilience. And that's what
Mm.
empowers you to go very far on your spiritual path. And I promise you, those people who are suffering, yes, you need to acknowledge the suffering. And yes, you even might need to get lost in it for a little while. And there's nothing wrong with that. That everybody has their own way that they deal with suffering. And sometimes it can be unbelievably overwhelming. But just know that
Mm.
if you make the choice to push through it and not let it take you all the way down, that what meets you on the other side is the light of awakening,
Mm.
and the light of wisdom. And that's a fact. And that's a fact. That'll take you, you can go very far in your spiritual journey. In fact, I would argue that
Mm.
to go all the way, right, on your journey, whatever all the way
Mm.
means,
Mhm.
you kind of have to, encounter suffering along the way. And it's not that you want to invite unnecessary suffering. You don't want to invite unnecessary suffering, but the suffering that comes along in your path, if you can navigate it and you can get through it, I assure you, you will you will be very pleased with the kind of being that you transform into as a result of it. And And then I'd also say, like, never, never give up, right? Never give up.
Yeah.
Even in the
Never,
spite of
never.
some of the worst, never give up. Even in spite of the worst suffering, you were never alone. And I think one of the more hopeful things that hopefully this book speaks to is
Yeah.
that we are one human family, and we're
Mhm.
all undergoing this, whatever you want to call it, this growth in consciousness, this
It's
expansion in
rebirth,
awareness, rebirth. We're
spiritual
doing it
rebirth.
together. And there are outlets out there like this, right, where you can turn to draw, um, to find comfort and draw inspiration through your own struggles. And I think it's inspiring. One thing that kind of came out of the pandemic was a
Mhm.
proliferation of
Yeah.
these
So
kinds of
much
mediums.
creativity.
There's
Yeah.
so much creativity.
True. Yeah.
Like Kelly, this show is wonderful, right? Like
Thank
shows like
you.
this, you know, blossomed as a result of
Yeah.
all of the suffering. So there's
Oh
lots of
my God.
outlets people can turn to now.
Yes.
So
Isn't it
seek,
amazing how resilient we are? Yeah.
we are
And
very resilient.
creativity is part of how we do that. It's amazing. So I
Absolutely.
want to just
So I would,
tell everyone to
don't lose
go to
hope.
Forrest. What's that?
I just say don't lose hope, right?
Don't lose hope. Yeah. Do not abandon hope, all ye who enter.
No,
Keep your hope. Keep your hope.
keep your hope.
And forestrivers.com is the best website. That's FORREST, Rivers, RIVERS.com. And is there anything else that you want people to know about besides getting your book, Humanity's Spiritual Rebirth, Lessons Lived and Learned from a Pandemic? Any other events that you've got coming up?
Yeah. Well, I am on my Facebook page, my Forest Rivers author page. Starting
Great.
in the next week or two, I will be starting a twice weekly little section called Mindful Musings, just like
Nice.
one little 1 minute, 1.5 minute snippets of advice to kind of help us through our days. And so if a few of those a week, and then I also have a YouTube channel, Mystic Soul Revival, that I just started up. And yeah, and keep a lookout on my website. I'll be uh, this summer. I'll be on this spring and summer. I'll be on a little tour, touring spiritual centers, uh,
Oh, that's
pretty much
great.
across the country. Doing talks and um, playing devotional music. So
Oh,
um,
beautiful.
feel
That's
so, and
wonderful.
the books will be with me. So, you can grab copies as you go. But I am doing a little special too. If you buy this book on Amazon and you leave a review, you can write me through my website. You can leave a message,
Mhm.
and I will send you a free copy of the my first book, The Hippie Revival and Collected Writings. So
Wow,
if you review buy this book on Amazon and then review it,
that's
I will send you a
great.
free complimentary copy of the Hippie Revival. So
Oh, that's great. That's very generous. Wow. So just from making a review, and you're going to love to review this, read this and review this book, you're going to get a whole other book to read and review and just more of Forrest. I want to make a little plug here for a moment. I've got an upcoming Dreamifesting um, free event, online free event, and it's coming up on December 17th. So I'd love people to check that
beautiful.
out. You can go to kellysullivanwalden.com to sign up for that. And then we also have a Dreamifesting live workshop that starts in January. So you can check all of those things out. But Forest Rivers, I just want to tell you what a absolute blessing and pleasure it's been to connect with you. Deborah's been telling me about you. I loved your book. And on such a day as this, when there's a fire going on and helicopters overhead and all this wildness. And in the midst of the holiday season, feels like it's just the perfect time to have a spiritual rebirth. So why not? So thank you so much for joining me, Forrest Rivers.
Oh, Kelly, it was an absolute pleasure to be on your show. You were doing such wonders for humanity with the show. And these kinds of programs are badly needed in this day and age to combat all of the negativity that's out there. And it's shows like this that are going to move us forward. So
Thank you so much. And thank you for listening and watching. And until we all meet again, don't take your dreams lying down, and make sure you transform anything that's tragic into magic by re-listening to this show and doing the meditations and reading Humanity's Spiritual Rebirth. Sweet dreams.
Thank you for listening to the Kelly Sullivan Walden Show. If you enjoyed this episode, take a moment to like, subscribe, comment, and share it with your friends. My show can be found on Apple iTunes, YouTube, Google Play, Spotify, and wherever you get your podcasts. If you want to order my new book, A Crisis is a Terrible Thing to Waste, go to your favorite online or brick and mortar retailer, then head on over to kellysullivanwalden.com, tragic to magic. Input your order number and redeem your bonus gifts. I'm also excited to be offering a DreamWork practitioner training. So if that calls to you, go to kellysullivanwalden.com/DreamWork. If you'd like to join me for the live recording of these shows, most Wednesdays at noon Pacific, you can find me on Facebook at Kelly Sullivan Walden Dreams. If you have a question about your dreams or about how to transform your tragic into magic, email me at kelly@kellysullivanwalden.com. Until next time, remember, a crisis is a terrible thing to waste. And as you awaken to the power of your dreams, you make the world a lighter, brighter, more beautiful place, one dream at a time. Sweet dreams.